The Imperium is vast, existing on a scale that a human mind is ill-suited to comprehend. It is a sprawling domain that unevenly covers much of the galaxy, a patchwork of densely inhabited star clusters, surrounded and interpenetrated by vast swathes of lightless dead void, as well as regions under the sway of the alien or utterly unknown. To travel within this reality, and to cover the immense distances required to cross even a fraction of it, means resorting to the warp, sometimes called the ether. The warp, an abstracted dimension of matter, is not beholden to the laws of a sane and rational universe. Looking upon the warp unprotected is known to cause madness and corruption, and thus it is rightly the source of terror for most. Quite beyond any other dangers it might possess, it is also the abode of demons and less understood entities, and should a vessel's Geller fields fail, a horrific end awaits all aboard. Yet the warp is vital to knitting the Imperium together, both to sustain its fabric with resources and commerce, and for defense and warfare. Without it, every world would become an isolated island unto itself, alone in the darkness and easy prey. Interstellar vessels are precious and rare, each made what it is by the existence of a warp drive, which, with the application of massive amounts of energy, generates an envelope of distorting wave energy known as Geller fields. These fields allow the vessel to translate itself through the veil between realities and into the warp beyond. Once within the strange, undimensioned space of the warp, a star vessel uses its Geller fields to ride the treacherous currents and eddies that flow unchecked through the depths of the immaterium. In doing so, it can traverse hundreds, even thousands, of light years. Despite the manifold dangers, warp travel condenses vast distances, though it remains far from a certain business. Any vessel, no matter how mighty, must frequently drop back into real space to check its positioning and course, as well as recharge and maintain its systems and take on supplies. While travel through the warp occupies only a fraction of the time such a journey would take within the constraints of the physical universe, a voyage might range from days or weeks within a sector to months or even years when crossing segments of the galaxy, particularly if relying on the vagaries of a supposed safe route. This reliance on layovers, stable routes, and supposedly tried and tested courses that offer some modicum of predictability and safety also leaves travelers prey to another danger: piracy. Just as predators are drawn to areas of plenty, so too are the wolves of the warp drawn to known navigational markers and stable trade routes in search of plunder and blood. Corsair traffic poses an intermittent threat throughout the Imperium, while in wilderness space, the danger can rise to frightening levels. Any vessel caught in such a way is likely to be far from aid, with death or enslavement at best awaiting the raider's victims. Given the inherent dangers in regions such as the Maelstrom Zone, most Imperial star vessels forced to traverse its dark and perilous stars are large and heavily armed, relying on convoys and warship escorts for some measure of protection. However, some smaller vessels risk everything in lone journeys, hoping that speed and secret courses charted well away from established trade routes will keep them safe. In either case, passing through the Maelstrom Zone is a deadly risk, even for those who manage to evade its dangers. The ill-starred worlds of the Maelstrom have drawn countless men to their doom.